Strangers, believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, neath the pale moon. Loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my bite. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a creeping through the shadows and the corners of your mind. I go where the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering my name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
Alright guys, we're at it yet again for our daily news show. So obviously guys, I am joined by Satellite of Discontent. Say hello.
Hello.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good, I'm good.
I just realised my little red...
rest.
I was going to say, I just realised my little red panda's not on the screen.
Oh. And neither is my,
No, that's up there now. That's up there now.
Ah, okay. Well, revive the panda.
Yeah, the panda's coming back to life, guys. Do not worry. And apparently, right now, Windows says I need to do an update. Great timing, Windows. Alright, but let's jump into it as Face Rig boots up. Alright, there. See, there I am. Oh, look at that little pretty cheeks. Yeah. Little red panda. But alright, let's jump into the news because no one really wants to see the panda. Everybody wants to hear the news. So guys, obviously we're going to talk about a few different things today. It's going to go for probably an hour and a half, depending on how fast we go through it and if we have a idle conversation and whatnot. But let's jump into the news. Man enters dental office to kill wife, is shot multiple times by armed patient. Who says guns don't stop violence? But yeah, this seems to be a case of a man defending a woman with a firearm. It seems like this could have stopped a terrible domestic violence. What do you think, buddy?
I totally agree. Just have a gun, and when someone else wants to do bad things with a gun, you shoot them first.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the wife was actually shot, but she is in hospital and getting operated on. We don't know how that's going to go. So the husband did still manage to put a bullet or so into her, so to speak. But as far as troubles, yeah, well, obviously, look, at the end of the day, some guy just walks into the dental's office. You don't really assume he's going to shoot his wife. But yeah, I presume what happened, and we'll get into it, I presume obviously what's happened is there's a guy with a concealed carry that was in the dentist office, waiting probably. He's probably heard the pops and got in with a gun and then realised the guy has pulled out his gun, realised the guy has been shot, or this woman, I presume it's a woman, they said wife, yeah, I presume this woman has been shot. He's realised, pulled the gun on the gunner, or the person that had the gun, and shot him a few times for his trouble. So, but let's jump into it. Police in Kingsport, Tennessee say a man entered a dental office Wednesday morning to kill his wife, so it's only just recently happened, and was shot multiple times by an armed patient. WCYB reports the incident occurred shortly after 9:30 a.m. when the suspect entered and shot his wife. A patient with a concealed carry permit then intervened, shooting the suspect multiple times. Give it up to the concealed carry guy. Yeah, well done. Woohoo!
Yeah, woohoo!
Times News quoted Sullivan County Sheriff Jeff Cassidy saying, "Really? There's actually a sheriff named Cassidy? It's like a trope, isn't it? A concealed carry permit holder saw the threat, took action on the threat, and stood by until officers arrived. We're calling him a hero today. Sorry. Now, obviously, authorities did not release the name of the deceased woman's nor of the suspect. Oh, okay, so she actually died.
Oh boy.
Oh.
That's no good.
I thought though. Oh, okay, so this has been updated. She did die. Who is in the hospital undergoing treatment? Oh, alright, yep, sorry. So unfortunately the husband's still alive. Damn it, that's who it was. Authorities did not release the name of the deceased woman nor the suspect who is in the hospital undergoing treatment for his gunshot wounds. Police also avoided mentioning the name of the concealed carry permit holder who took action to stop the shooter. Look, obviously, it's a shame that the wife has died. Yeah, kind of sad actually, to be honest. I would have liked her to survive. Maybe the other way should have happened. You know, the gunman should have died, and she should have survived. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Look, obviously, look, guys with guns can't be everywhere. But this could have gone, God knows, horribly wrong. Who knows? He could have shot the dentist staff. He could have shot the dentist. He could have shot anybody on the way out. Like he's already killed one person. What's the difference between 1 to 5? So who knows how many people could have been saved or whatnot. Obviously, this is all hypothetical. We don't know what the situation would have been if the gunman hadn't been there. But I don't think it would have gone down well. Would you? I don't know.
No. But yeah, I agree with your previous thing. It should have been the other way around.
Yeah.
The wife survives and the gunman doesn't. Yeah.
Kind of a bummer. The wife died. All she was doing was getting her teeth fixed. But anyway. Apart from that... How
dare she?
Yeah. How dare you have decay. I don't know. A few times I felt like a dentist wanted to shoot me for having a teeth decay, but anyway. JC Smollett, I'm pissed off at people who don't believe I was attacked because there's some serious doubt as to whether he was being attacked or not. Now, obviously, this is my opinion. I'll say that legally now, these days. But anyway, actor JC Smollett said in an interview that this year he is angry at people who do not want to see the truth about an alleged racial attack that he claims to be the victim of. Notice Breitbart is also turning around saying claims. Their language is pretty impressive here. Now look, this is for you guys to rewind and find out what exactly we're talking about. This is the person that was allegedly attacked on the way home. He was told that, quote, "This is mega country," and he had a rope round his neck, and he was then also had some sort of liquid poured over him, which apparently was bleach or something. I don't know. So at the end of the day, the reason why people are saying that it was possibly fake was the fact that the police can't find any real CT incidents of it happening. The only CT footage they can find is 2 guys walking along the street at night. Look like they're dressed like Antifa, to be honest. But anyway, the report is that this burglar turned around and said, "This is mega country." I don't know any Trump supporter that would say that, but regardless. And normally these sort of racial attacks are more inclined with the alt-right, for example. And a lot of them don't actually like Trump because he sides with Israel. So, yeah, I don't know, dude. What are your thoughts on this, dude?
My thoughts are that I would put down a 95% certainty that he's faked it.
Yeah, look, I don't know if I'd say 95, but I'm definitely leaning in the fact that I think he has faked it. Look, I'm probably more conservatively around the 60-40, 65-35 sort of mark. But at the end of the day, he's quoted saying, I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off. It's the attackers, but also the attacks. Josie Smalley told BBC Good Morning America host Robin Roberts. He continues, "It's like, the first thing I was like, listening to tell the truth. Then it's like, because it's the truth, then become a thing of like, oh, how doubt that." Great English there, dude. But anyway. Like, how can you not believe that it's the truth? Then become a thing of like, oh yeah, it's not necessarily, you don't like believe that's the truth. You don't even wanted to see the truth. This really seems like it's a nowhere sentence, but anyway. The actor also cried at one point in the interview. Smalley, who stars in the Fox TV show Empire, made national headlines last month for claiming to be attacked by two individuals in downtown Chicago at around 2 a.m. He claimed his attackers, who were wearing masks and gloves, threw a chemical on him, put a rope around his neck, beat him, and hurled racial and homophobic slurs, yelling, "This is mega country." Chicago police reviewed hundreds of hours of video and still have not found any possible suspects in the alleged attack. In a statement this week, Chicago police spokesman Anthony Gomili said the phone records from Smalley do not meet the burden for a criminal investigation as they were limited and heavily redacted. The full interview with Smalley was on air on ABC Thursday morning. Alright, NBC says, hello raccoon person. Hello human person. How are you, buddy? But yeah, okay, so as for this, look, I don't want to be an asshole, okay, I really don't, but I really don't know about this. I really don't know about this attack. Something to me, it just doesn't seem right. He's on the phone to the manager, right, when it supposedly happens. The manager takes half an hour to call the cops after he arrived at his home, and they found no information or no verification. I don't know. I don't want to be that guy that sits there and says, ugh, you're racially motivated all the time. But this seems to me like it might be more like I want to be a victim and look at me narrative.
Well, you heard that that he's refusing to give over the call records.
Well, he's actually given them over now, but they're heavily redacted. So it makes you wonder, like, who's he calling? Who do you call on your mobile phone that you need to redact your phone conversations from? Are you there, buddy? Maybe you dropped out.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I'm just wondering. Redacting your phone calls. Yeah, who's he ringing? This is very, very sus. This whole situation is sus, and so that's why I slap a 95% fake on it.
Yeah, like if you're calling your gay boyfriend or you're calling your gay lover or something and he's not out of the closet or something, then maybe you'd redact a few of the conversations, but they said they were heavily redacted. So unless he's calling his boyfriend or whatever every 5 minutes and whatnot, and his boyfriend's...
He's calling his boyfriend looking for a foot long.
Oh, jeez, gross, dude. More like a 6-inch. But I was going to say... But at the end of the day, if, for example, like, if you're constantly calling someone that you want to hide, like, if you go calling a drug dealer and stuff like that, you go hiding it from the police department. Well, why is he hiding even if it's a boyfriend's call? Like, it's got to be someone you don't want the police to know. So... But yeah, I was going to say it's NPC. The Jesse was looking for a foot long. That's funny, actually. You joke stealer, you. But like I say, yeah, I really don't know about this. And the more I look into it, the more it just seems like it's complete fake. It just, like, I don't want to be that guy that sits there and says, oh, he's a victim and, and he's faking it for attention. But it's just something that's just is really, really weird. And then he even cries in an interview since the first alleged attack. He welled up in his first interview since his alleged attack last month. The sit-down concluded by ABC News Robin Roberts. Like, I don't know, dude. It's just, it seems like...
Well, being an actor, he would have access to the fake tear machine thing.
Yeah, I never get to how actors do that. What do they do? Like, secretly stomp on each other's foot or something? I don't get how they do that, but anyway. But look, at the end of the day, look, obviously, look, the police don't even seem to be real confident in this. They've gone around and they've literally said in their article that said the phone records from Smalley do not meet the burden for a criminal investigation as they were limited and heavily redacted. So, you know, look, at the end of the day, really? Like, even the police are starting to doubt your theory there, man. Like, you know. And now he's on TV crying and going on about people not wanting to believe him. Is he surprised? I don't know. Oh. Want to jump into the next story?
Let's do it.
Cory Booker says something stupid, and that's all you need to know. No, vegetarian Cory Booker says meat eaters' days are numbered. If anybody out there has had a run-in with a vegetarian and knows how fanatical they can get, then at the end of the day, Cory Booker being president would be very, very terrifying. But anyway. Just before we jump into it, an NPC says, I reckon he was out scoring drugs, went tits up, maybe got slapped and robbed to his crack monies, hence the I'm not telling. Yeah, could be. He could have been out trying to hook up or something like that, or he could have been like going to a gay bar or something, or coming out of a gay bar or something. I don't know. He could have been up to all sorts of things. Who knows? I stole it myself as it stole. Okay, so you're all stealing each other's jokes. That's all right. Keep stealing. Ethan always nicks my jokes. Who's Ethan? Oh, that's someone else's. Oh. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. That theory about him going out to score and it went bad. I've actually heard that theory run about quite a bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It holds water. It does.
Would make sense. It would make sense. Yeah. I'm brewer than my memes kitchen, and I like rats. They scuttle and take my recipes. What the hell are you going on about, NPC? Are you on drugs? Is that how you know Josie was out scoring? Are you on drugs too, boy? But let's keep going. New Jersey Democrat Senator Cory Booker is not only a potential 2020 president candidate, he's a vegan who says he's proud and who says the world can't sustain people eating meat. And if this doesn't terrify everybody that votes in the 2020 election, I don't know what would. Because imagine a president who wants to push a vegan agenda. Booker told the February issue of Vegan News that he became a vegetarian in 1992 when, after a few days of trying the new lifestyle, he said, "Oh my gosh, I never go back to eating meat." He made the decision to go vegan in 20. So he went, okay, so I know there's a difference between vegan and vegetarian, but he went vegan in 1992 and he became vegan in 2014. Right?
Yeah.
So like something like 20 something years later, right?
Uh-huh.
Is this vegan thing like a ploy for like the election?
It's possible. And I want you to just notice the photo on the screen right now. You see the placement of his head?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see the placement of his head and how there's a thing around it? The way that photo's done? I've been noticing.
Yeah.
This is something I've been noticing a lot. A lot of different photos of different people that are coming out to talk about something. And the placement of their head is with a ring around it, with a glow.
Wonder if it's other photos that's like this.
There's quite a lot of photos I'm noticing in media where a person is placed in this way. I find it conspiratorial.
Yeah, well, it definitely does have that halo effect, doesn't it? Although, I doubt Breitbart News is trying to push it. To their credit, it is actually a photo that is from the New York Magazine. So the New York Magazine looks like it was the first to put it up. The Daily Caller has also used that photo as well.
There's another one there.
Yeah, and also here's the photo without the halo effects from the Houston Chronicles. Yeah, it is a little bit weird. It definitely is, but we'll keep going anyway. I remember my last non-vegan meal was election day in November 2014. Booker told the Vegan News source, if Booker manages to win the Democratic Party president nomination and then the general election, which he won't, he'll be the first vegan to do so. The potential candidate, also a fan of the New York Democrat Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, whatever her name is, Green New Deal, which is not really that new anyway, which would likely eliminate fighting cows from America's landscape. That's not a meme, that's actually legit. He compared the widely lampooned and sweeping environmental plan to winning World War II. Because, you know, my grandfather went and fought in World War II, and I tell you now, he daily, well, up until the point where he died, he daily considered, you know, fighting the Green New Deal as just equivalent to, you know, mass atrocities in World War II. But regardless. I'm joking, by the way, everybody. In their response, the Green New Deal and the Food Environment Reporting Network favorably mentioned the documents committed to the investing a sustainable farming and land use practices that increase soil health and building more sustainable food system that ensures universal access to healthy food, which I would support. I'm all for people going through and actually living a very healthy lifestyle with healthy foods. I would like to see governments, for example, plant apple trees and stuff like that along the streets instead of just bushes. Because I think, you know, if you could go through and plant apple trees and that along the side of the road and everything like that, people could literally just pick the apples when they're ripe. But anyway, free food. See, I'm a little bit communist myself. The progressive senator didn't think that veganism is appropriate for his private life. He'd like everyone to embrace the diet because he believes it's the world can't keep providing enough beef and pork to satisfy meat cravings. Sure we can. Just watch us. This is a little bit weird because there seems to be a lot of similarities between veganism and Islam. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, that's a pretty funny one. The way they act is crazy. And another thing too, a while back there was a video of a prominent vegan who basically said that if you're still eating meat, you don't deserve to live.
Yeah.
So if you're not vegan, you don't deserve to live. If you're not Islamic, you don't deserve to live. Got that.
Yeah, it's kind of fanatical, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Vegans scare me.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. Like, he's literally going through and saying that he wants people to adopt his lifestyle. This is very terrifying, and this should scare everybody. But anyway. In addition to convincing the masses to give up meat, Booker has other legislative goals that would interfere with America's eating habits. Like, when you literally start legislating eating and everything like that, that's, like, really scary to me. But anyway, the legislative will continue to be a part of the movement to fork who were fight against corporate interests that undermine the public goal and the public welfare, he says. Oof, this guy's not going to be popular with the Democrats or the deep state, is he? Booker went on to explain the aims to continue supporting bills that are about public health, whether it's plummeting in those anabolics into animals that are literally threatening the safety of Americans. He also believes cramming too many pigs into barns is harmful and violates our collective values as a country. Alright,
Someone's been watching too many documentaries.
yeah, and this is the guy that is also supporting the Green Deal. Is anybody else surprised? Alright, in chat, just before we go through the wrap-up. I was born with the wrong coloured hair follicles. Follicle dysphobia. I'm thinking about becoming a trans ginger. Dude, gingers have a pretty high on the oppression chart. You might be able to milk that. So yeah, I'm follicle dysphoria. I'm thinking that could be a real thing. It is it's about as real as some of the other conditions out there. Anyway, the vegans are the new cult. They are mad as shit. The new vegans Puritans. We're all the new Puritan age. Hieroglyphics of Egypt gods were always depicted similarity. Yeah, true. Then you obviously laughed at the transgender thing. Don't laugh, it's a hate crime. I like this NPC guy. Like he's a troll, but I love him. All right, my great grandfather, my great granddad was sunk by the Germans. These videos of YouTube. He went down firing. It isn't a joke. He's very down. He was very drowned. The commander of the German battleship was court-martialed. Oh, okay, cool. Sorry to hear, man. For using too much ammo on this little destroyer. What's this Britannia age? Do I need to ask about that?
The Britannia?
Puritan. Or do you want to talk about this off air?
I'm not sure. Puritan. Oh, Puritan age.
Oh, Puritan age, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think I know what he means. As in, vegans being all Puritans, and so then having to force it upon everyone else.
All right, cool. If you're anemic and you won't live if you don't eat meat. That is actually true. Anemia is people that have a very low iron counts in their blood, and eating meat and meat products is actually a really good way to subsidize that.
Of course, you could also get the scurvy.
Yeah, and that, well, obviously people would turn around and say, you just take a multivitamin every day, which, oh shit, I forgot to take my multivitamin today. But I was going to say, but at the end of the day, if you can do it naturally, then why do you need to dose yourself up on chemicals? But anyway.
Now, I dropped a little article into the general section.
Scientist one?
I've read it. I have actually just read it while you were doing the news there.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good, and it does get to the point.
You're going to go on about fighting cows, aren't you?
Yes. It's the part about the fighting cows, where it actually is a thing.
Do I need to change your logo to a communist flag again?
No.
Okay. Scientists underestimate how fighting cows are. Well, if scientists are actually underestimating it, then obviously they're not saying it's too bad, but anyway. Animal farts and poops are the majority contributors, off by as much as 10%. Says who? Says the backyard chemists. The new calculations take into account changes the way people use livestock. Methane is natural byproduct of digestion, made by microbes in an animal's gut that breaks down and ferment and food we eat, which is farts, and we just got disconnected from YouTube.
I saw that.
Wow, okay, it's a very long article. Is there like a highlight section of this, or just
Methane itself?
Right. But even scientists are saying that it's...
you went... Yeah.
But this article, they've literally said that the scientists are wrong, that the scientists are underestimating how bad the fighting is.
Here. No, it's not.
A new study by who?
A new study by... Well, okay, you didn't read that far into it. By NASA.
By NASA.
NASA-funded study.
I can see that on the screen, actually. The NASA-funded study appeared today in the Journal of Carbon. Right.
The USDA plant physiologist Julie Wolf. The group looked into the data underpinning the IPCC's estimate.
I really don't think fighting cows are that bad, personally. I think there's bigger threats in the world than fighting cows, and apparently fighting pigs, according to Anne.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the crux of it, right? They found that Wolf and her colleagues estimated that livestock originated about 1/5 of the methane emissions from 2003 to 2011, but they were responsible for between 1/2 and 3/4 of the increase in methane emissions seen over that time. So if you think about it, they've quadrupled the methane output. And then if you go look at a study comparing carbon to methane on the effect on greenhouse gas effect, methane is many, many times worse.
They're fighting cows.
Yeah, but see, you and I argue about this all the time because I actually think this is a serious issue about methane.
They're fighting cows.
Yeah, and you keep saying that, and it's not going to change my mind that methane is a bad gas greenhouse emission.
What do you want to do? Do you want cows to stop fighting? What?
No, I don't know what to do about it. I'm just saying it's real. It's an issue.
It might be an issue, but I'm not that worried about fighting cows.
Well, fine. I mean, if
well,
fine, like...
okay, look, all right. Everybody out there, what I want you to do is to stick a bag over your cow's ass, and that way, when they fart too much, they'll float up into the atmosphere. All right, we can have exploding cows or something. I really don't think that the problem that we're having with like greenhouse gases and everything like that. Yes, the methane might be causing a problem. Yes, I'm not saying it isn't. But unless you want to go sealing up their asses with like stitches and stuff like that.
Well, maybe some research can be done as a food additive that stops them from giving off so much methane.
But the problem is that you're messing with biology.
No, we're messing with the food.
But it's biology, dude. That you're messing with their biology.
The biology...
Which we are then going to eat. This is how...
We don't eat the cow shit, we eat their muscles.
No, yes, we eat their muscle, we eat their meat, right? Which is made up of what they ingest. This is like, for example, if a cow eats a toxin, for example, it goes into the meat. Now, you want to go through, or you're suggesting at this point in time anyway, that you're suggesting possibly going through and making an additive that would be ingested into their system to stop them from eating, so that we would then eat their meat, which would give us traces of the same chemical. Like, dude, this is really,
I get you there. Anyway. I'm not big on GMOs and additives, obviously, but if the research could be done and it was done safe,
unless it stops fighting cows, then you're big on it, right? By the way, guys, in case you're wondering, this is the same conversation that we've had so many times offline. It's just like, I'm so over the fighting cows. We've argued
about fighting cows.
Yes. This is welcome to our Discord where we debate fighting cows. But anyway, NPC, he's retired now. It's no joke either. Professor in ecological and gas analysis. Oh, okay. So my dad is the world leading expert on methane emissions. It's cows' primary. Pigs don't ruminate. Okay. Methane is indeed considered the worst methane gas, and is burps. Big area of Dad's career. He developed the gas chromatography mass spectrum for its study and put pipes on cows. But NPC, are you joking again? I can't tell with you sometimes.
I'm actually picking up a my dad meme here.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a my dad meme. It's not. I'm not making this up. My dad doesn't know Earth is flat, though. Okay.
Oh yeah. NPC was telling me that the Earth is flat earlier, and I said to him I agree.
I saw that, and I tended to ignore that one because I thought it was memeing. Let's jump on to something that's slightly more interesting than fighting cows, if we could. So Angel families march on Nancy Pelosi's office, build that wall. Angel families stormed into the house of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office again Wednesday with calls to secure the U.S. southern border, but they were turned away yet again. Seems that walls are okay for Nancy Pelosi's office. But anyway, Americans whose loved ones have been killed by illegal aliens flooded into the office with questions as why their many requests for meetings with the speaker went unanswered. Don't worry, guys. She just used a wall to stop you. Front office staff had little to offer in a way of answer that wouldn't give an idea of when so much an aid would be available to meet with the families. So they've actually gone through about 4 or 5 times, as far as I know. Tried to meet with Nancy Pelosi. I've heard of it several times myself. She's denied their entry. She doesn't want them to come in and doesn't want
Walls
to talk to them.
for me, but not for thee.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, I think it's quite disgusting that someone will comment on something like, for example, immigration, but she won't listen to the other side of the argument. If I was a politician, and I would still listen to people who would go against my beliefs, because that way they get locked in an echo chamber.
Huh. Well.
But I don't know. What do you think? Do you reckon she should meet the families, or?
Yeah. Oh.
No, NPC. We're not going to go deleting your messages. Oh, did you?
No, I haven't done anything like that.
No, he's saying he doxed himself because of the previous comment.
Oh, yeah, I know about that. No, I was just thinking on the article. I'm just thinking about that for a minute, and it's just that's odd. That's an odd position to have from Nancy Pelosi's office.
Yeah. There you go, bro. I think that's the comment you wanted me to delete. All right. It's not really odd, dude. It's just the fact that they just don't want people to go through they just don't want to talk to people with different opinions. Are you really that surprised a Democrat doesn't want to do that?
Well, but she's the Speaker of the House, right?
True.
Yeah, doesn't she have a literal duty to talk to people, like, of all opinions?
True, but she's a Democrat.
Yeah, but when you take the job of Speaker of the House, don't you somewhat denounce a bit of that?
But she's a Democrat.
There you go. And your logic.
I was going to say, are you really that shocked that Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to hear from someone that goes against her agenda? Like, really? That surprises you? Like, really? I don't know. But look, at the end of the day, I think that she should meet with them. I think that she should meet with them, and she should meet with people that are against the border wall. And that's what I would do if I was president. I wouldn't necessarily take any notice of them or change my opinion. No, nothing's guaranteed. But at the end of the day, I would still meet with them. I still think she should.
And we shall correct the record. It is cow burps, not cow farts. So, yeah.
But cows don't burp, as far as I know.
Oh no, he says that it's cow burps. So.
Oh. Okay. Nancy Pelosi is Skeletor. That we all can agree on. She does have that. So I've noticed this before, right? She does have that Skeletor sort of look, doesn't she?
Yes. She does.
Yeah. But anyway. Alright, let's keep going anyway. John McDonnell brands Sir Winston Churchill a villain. Right. Okay. Interesting. So we're obviously jumping the pond over to the UK at the moment. John McDonnell has described Sir Winston Churchill as a villain in comments that provoked widespread outrage. The Shadow Councillor was attacked as a Poundland Lendy by the grandson of the Walter Time Prime Minister over his description of a man who regularly topples poles of the greatest ever Britannia. Mr. Donald chose to ignore Churchill's achievements in saving Europe from the Nazis and instead criticised him over a controversy involving Edwin-era's miners' strike. His comments will be seen as particularly ill-judged as they come while Labour is embroiled over a fresh row over anti-Semitism. Churchill is that one. Churchill is feted worldwide for his role in defeating Adolf Hitler, a man who pursued a policy of exterminating and I can't read the rest of the article because they want to put a paywall up. I'm guessing exterminating Jews. So look, at the end of the day, yeah, Winston Churchill is normally considered one of the best prime ministers of the UK. And this Labour twat is literally going on about him being a villain because of the way he carried on about the miners, the mining strike.
Yeah.
Like, Labour saying something stupid. Who would have thought? For the Americans in the group, Labour is pretty much like all Democrats. So, left-wing people saying something stupid. Who would have thought? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you know much about Churchill? Do you know much about this mining strike? I know nothing about it. I'll look into it.
No, actually, I've never heard of it.
No. I've heard of World War II. But yeah.
Yeah, from my understanding of these things, it's miners would be part of a group. I forget the name of that. What that group is? It's like this things, and basically, yeah. I mean, if working conditions are bad, you strike, and obviously the companies don't like it.
No.
And see, the thing is, a Labour government is supposed to be on the side of the miners. That's one of the things, traditionally anyway.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I'm not saying he's perfect. Most of what I know from Winston Churchill is from the UK, which have a very biased opinion of him. Look, he's a very polarizing figure. He did good things, he did bad things. He did a good thing. He beat Adolf Hitler. He did a bad thing. He apparently might have been a bit heavy-handed when it came to the strike, or the miners' strike. Look, at the end of the day, I'm going to say beating Adolf Hitler, who wanted to take over the world, is probably a far better thing to do than being a bit rough-handed with the miners' strike. I would say that they don't exactly cancel each other out. That, you know, like, he still has a lot of brownie points in the whole spectrum of beating Adolf Hitler. And look, certain people would disagree with me that beating Adolf Hitler was a good thing. But, you know, yeah. But apart from that, yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you reckon that... Yeah, we'd have to look into the mining strike thing, but I doubt that the mining strike was anywhere near as bad as what this guy is making it out to be. Although
companies they freak out. They always freak out about and overreact about this stuff.
Well, Labor's very big on unions, aren't they?
Yeah.
So maybe they were upset about the way that he dealt with the strike in regards to the fact that he didn't cave into the unions, maybe?
Possible. Yeah.
That might be why they're freaking out. NPC in chat, the people of Melita hate Churchill. I can't say that word, dude, because, yeah, but you can, I can't. I can't remember why, and they did start civilian bombing before Hitler ever tried it. Malta. I think Malta. Was Malta with Germany? Or against Germany? The Polish hate him too. He beat Hitler, but he and Roosevelt signed Poland over to Stalin. The capacity for leading Hitler up the garden path was a real skill, and seeing the threat from the Nazis before the war, yeah, he definitely did. Thatcher was the mining strike, not Churchill. Confused raccoon is confused. Hey, I'm not confused. I'm just uninformed about the UK's mining strike. By the way, it wasn't me that read that, by the way. Well, it was me that read it, but it wasn't me that wrote it. Alright, NPC? Not a confused raccoon. And I'm a panda, not a raccoon. No, but yeah, it's the article that's claiming it was actually Winston Churchill. Yeah. It's this Labour guy.
I just as an aside, I literally thought that guy was Jim Sterling on the left.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, I've never realised. Ooh, that's actually a really good comparison, actually.
Yeah.
Let me find a photo of Jim Sterling so people can compare him. Because he wears the hi-hat and everything, right?
Yeah, and he also looks like he was a bit overweight and everything. It's great.
What are you saying? What are you saying there, bro? What are are you saying about Jim Sterling? All right, so there's a photo of Jim Sterling on the screen for everybody. Right? And there's a photo of Winston Churchill. There is definitely a resemblance.
I know. Holy
dooly.
Did Winston Churchill find a genie and then have unlimited lifespan?
or conspiracy theory hashtag confirmed, is Jim Sterling related to Winston Churchill?
Ooh.
Maybe. Who knows? But anyway. Alright, let's keep going. Trash panda. Hey! Leave the panda alone. Alright. What is a Jim Sterling? I just put up a photo. He's a YouTuber, NPC. So yeah, he's gone through and he does YouTube videos on gaming and stuff like that. I don't like his political opinion, but I must admit he is very entertaining, to say the least. While we're talking about historical figures, while we're trashing historical figures and lovely pandas at the same time, filmmaker Spike Lee, Christopher Columbus was a terrorist. Did you notice I put myself in with historical figures? During a Wednesday appearance on MSNBC's Morning Joe discussing his film Black Klansman, director Spike Lee called Christopher Columbus a terrorist because trashing historical figures is their new thing to do, apparently. Lee lamented the fact that he was not told that George Washington owned slaves and that Columbus, his story, is not taught in schools. Yeah, every rich person owned slaves back in the day, man. My understanding is that George Washington treated his slaves pretty well, though, isn't he?
Yeah. What? Oh, sorry about that.
Wow, that was adorable.
Yeah, I had to sneeze.
Yeah, everybody on the internet heard that. I'm gonna take that out and just like use it for like a sound effect. Keep on, sorry. You there?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go offline for a sec.
He's going to sneeze again, people. Alright, while he's sneezing, I also have to say the reason why I'm wearing this hat and pullover is that many years ago the first slaves were brought to this country in Jamestown, Virginia in 1619 and 2019, Lee shared. I think a lot of people need to know this because they're part of American history, which is not all good, you know. I think that when it was in public schools in Brooklyn, New York, I was not told George Washington owned slaves. I was told he chopped down the cherry tree and wouldn't tell a lie. In 1492, this guy, a terrorist, sailed the ocean blue. I mean, we have got start teaching. I feel my opinions. Let's be honest about our history. Let's move forward. We're not honest about our history. So, okay, you back now?
Yeah. So when it comes to our history, I do feel that they're trying to take all of the great men who made great accomplishments back in the day,
yeah,
and either vilify them or simply remove them from history and replace them with something else.
Yeah, I think I think this is the equivalent of digging through someone's Twitter feed and finding out something bad so that you can use it against them, sort of thing. Look, at the end of the day, obviously, look, yes, people back in the day did some terrible things. Some people back in the day did some not so good things. Back in the day, some people owned slaves. Granted, it was only a small percentage of the population. And if you're going to go back digging up everybody's past, guess what? And this is what we found out from the left. Everybody has a history. If you go on about blackface, chances are you probably did blackface when you were at college. When you go on about sexual assault, chances are you can be accused of sexual assault from a woman with credible claims when you were at college. This is something that Democratic viewers do not get. Or the Democratic leaders don't get. Yeah, I know, we hit 6 viewers. Woohoo! But like I say, look, at the end of the day, you go digging up people's past, it will always, there will always be something bad or terrible, or
Here's the thing.
we all have skeletons, right?
Here's the thing, and this is where I'm going to go in complete disagreement with Stefan Molyneux about universal preferred behavior, right?
I went to watch that video and it was 2.5 hours long.
Yeah. The thing is that no, morality is not universal, and morality is constantly in flux and changing. It's literally a living meme, right? What people did 30, 40 years ago could have been completely moral.
Yeah.
And so when you look into people like here in Australia, where they, love to trash Captain Cook and the original settlers and all these things, the things they did could have been completely acceptable and moral then.
Yeah, morals change.
And no, I'm not making excuses for horrible things that we would look back on now. I'm just saying that things change. Morality changes.
Yeah, look, at the end of that, I've actually met Stefan Molyneux, so I'll disagree with NPC when he says Stefan has a high opinion of himself. Look, he might have, I don't know. When I met him, he was completely fine and down to earth. He even cracked a few jokes, because I'm very tall, and he said about standing up straight. Mind you, that said, I was more taken away with meeting Lauren Southern, so I might have... I got to wrap my arm around Lauren Southern, and I didn't want to wash my arm for a week. But like I say, look, at the end of the day, I did though, but don't worry, okay. But like I say, my arm is very clean. Unfortunately. But what I was going to say was, look, at the end of the day, we've all done terrible things in our pasts, and yeah, if you go through people's history, there will be some shady shit.
Shady in the opinion of now.
Yeah.
Where it might not be done shady then.
Yeah. True. But look, at the end of the day, yeah, I really don't think it's a big thing. And look, I agree with Spike here a little bit when I turn around and say, yeah, I would like to be able to, Lauren Southern as a gift. Hey, don't talk about my future waifu like that, NPC. But like I said, yeah, obviously, look, we would like to be teaching kids stuff from... She's mine, by the way. I'm joking. But like I said, yeah, we should be teaching stuff from school. We should be teaching real history. And at the other... No, she's not. Oh my god, do you really want to have this debate right now? But anyway, but yeah, what was I saying? History. We should be teaching history at school that is real, honest. And we should be mentioning the bad things. But we should be also highlighting the good things. And I really doubt people like Spike Lee, if they had a chance of rewriting history for schools, would put them as comparable. I would imagine they would focus more on the bad stuff than the good stuff. But yeah,
and a quick little thing. When I was in primary school, I had a teacher, and he loved going on and on about Captain Cook and all his stories. Back then, I remember how boring the classes were, but I did actually, pay attention mostly, because, tests. But yeah, I mean, looking back on it these days, these are great things that, we used to teach our kids to be, we used to teach our kids to look up to these great people, and, it's pride for your people, pride for your nation,
Yeah, and look, it's pride for achievements too.
Exactly.
The fact is that, look, he achieved something back in the day that most people only dreamed of. He got a boat, he got the money from the government, which was not a real easy thing to do back then, and then literally went through and basically sailed the 7 seas. So yeah, but anyway, it also goes on for 2 hours. Anyone who talks for 2 hours straight has a high opinion of himself, including me. But I'm correct. To quote Molyneux, the West is the best. Yeah, that's actually. I'm going to stop that sentence there. Moving along. Ilhan Omar snaps at CNN reporters.
Ilhan.
Whatever. She's a racist and a bigot. What do we need? She's a racist and she's a bigot, and she doesn't really count because, like, she's a racist and a bigot. Like, really? That's my impression of a leftist.
Really?
Snaps
really.
at CNN reporter. Are you serious? Are you serious? Democrat, Minnesota Republican Ilhan Omar, by the way, who has literally been criticised as being racist, by the way, anti-Semitic, and who's Democratic, by the way, on Wednesday snapped at a CNN reporter who tried to ask her about the fallout over her recent comments blaming Jewish political donors for Republican support of Israel. Is she wrong, though? President Donald Trump says Tuesday that Omar should step down either from Congress or the House of Foreign Affairs Committee and called Omar's apology for the comments lame. Look, at the end of the day, look, better put those shots on 100%. There are certain people that do lobbying for certain countries, and that is a part and parcel of being in the Washington. People make a lot of money out of lobbying.
APAC, yeah.
Yeah. Let's just move it along. While I still have a channel. The congressman on Wednesday shot back at the tweet that accused the president of trafficking in hate, but then dodged questions twice as she was asked about it by CNN's Malu Ra. Representative Ilhan, whatever, in no mood to talk about her controversy this week, first said no, thank you, when asked to comment on Trump saying she should resign. Second time I saw her, she yelled, "Are you serious?" when I tried to question her. Rajar wrote on Twitter, "What's wrong with you?" the congresswoman reportedly asked him. Seems like she might be cracking a little bit. Now, obviously, look, this is also, isn't this the same one that that wrote about, yeah, it's all about the Benjamins. So she's also gone through in the past and also wrote about how Israel how America supports Israel. Okay, NPC, I like the fact that you're giving me money, but I can't agree with you on the Earth is flat.
We can have that conversation another time.
We can, oh God, bloody flat earthers. All right. But yeah, she also wrote about, it's all about the Benjamins, when in regards to, and I've got up here on the screen, it's stunning how much US political leaders spend when they're talking about like Israel and stuff like that. I think she was talking about defending them. So look, at the end of the day, she has a history of anti-Semitic comments, for lack of a better word. Look, at the end of the day, I don't know if I really... Would this be anti-Semitic, though?
Depends how you look at it.
Yeah. Like, really, all she's doing is she's bringing up, like, lobbying, really, isn't she?
Yeah.
It's not...
Although, you know what's interesting
and look, and just before people go taking that out of context and sending it off to media matters, I also think that the Democrats are lobbied by Palestine too. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, one thing I will mention about conservatives, though, it annoys me, is that a lot of conservatives here in Australia also, like in America, like to say that, you know, we're all about, you know, pro-Israel, you know. So, it is a thing that happens here too, unfortunately.
Yes, well, I'm pro-Australia.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm pro-Australia, you know. I'd like to vote in politicians here in Australia that are conservatives that are pro-Australia. That's the way I'd like to.
What's the bottom side look like?
Oh, of the flat Earth? I don't know.
We're not having this conversation, not today. I can't. Please don't make me talk about flat Earth. Alright,
good night, Russian bot.
Russian bot? What, he's leaving, is he? Oh yeah, good night, man. Yeah, he's like over in the somewhere where it's like really late, so yeah, go to bed. Thanks for $2 though, by the way, buddy. We will talk about flat Earth one day if you really want to. You can come on the show.
Actually.
Yeah. NPC, if you want to come on the show one day, you can talk about your flat Earth theory. Okay, we'll have that conversation. We'll entertain your flat Earth theory. Ilhan Omar snaps at CNN reporters for asking questions about APAC controversy which is obviously what we're just talking about. Look, I really wouldn't go saying it's space is fake. No, space is not fake. Okay. Oh, anyway. Moving along. The West Virginia lawmaker is facing calls to resign after comparing LGBT people to the KKK. Now, this is CNN, so obviously take it what they say with a grain of salt. But a member from the West Virginia House of Delegates is facing bipartisan criticism of stirring an LBG sentiments by the Republican lawmaker doesn't appear to be backing down. Delegate Eric Potterfield, who represents West Virginia's 27th district, has a history of anti-LBGT stances, but things came to a head last week during a House meeting over a proposed amendment to the anti-LBGT discrimination bill. During the February 6th meeting, Portfield called the bill, which would include LBGT people as a protected class under the state's Human Rights Act, bigoted, intolerant, and discriminatory. Okay, I already know where they're going to go with this, and I don't agree with them, but anyway. The LBGT is more of a socialist group in this country, he continued. According to Chelsea's Maine, they did not protect gays. There are many gays that they persecute if they do not line up with the social ideology. So, good night, NPC, buddy. Have a good night. Educate yourself, panda. No, I like being uninformed. But yeah, basically what he's talking about here is the fact that, for example, if you're a black Trump supporter and you happen to be gay, they will call you all sorts of names under the sun. Like
a coon, yeah.
Wow, really? You have to say that word? But anyway, yeah. But like I say, yeah. They actually use an N word that's a lot worse. And don't say it. I like to keep my channel. But like I say,
I won't say that one.
Yeah. But like I say, they for example, the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys actually have a history of, or actually have members that are Mexican and from Mexico and stuff like that, or Mexican descent, and they're in the Proud Boys group, and they regularly get called all sorts of names under the sun because they support Trump. And it's like, for example, there's been like history of gay people have come out that have been pro-Trump, and they just flat out call them the F word. Don't say it. But they go through and they call them all sorts of names under the sun. So he is right in the fact that seems to be more of a you have the right opinions and you agree with us, so therefore we're going to take you under our wing sort of thing. Is he not?
I was just having a funny thought.
Mm.
I wonder how long until they have to have the Proud Girls.
Oof. Or until a certain cheese in Australia has to change its name.
A certain cheese?
Mm. You just said the word.
I don't get it.
You just said the word.
Oh!
I am surprised.
One.
I am surprised that cheese still is available in 2019, considering the name of the cheese. If anybody doesn't know, it's COO something.
Just pull up a picture of the brand of cheese.
No, people flag the channel. I don't want to go giving people.
It's literally a real brand. I mean, come on. How can that be an issue?
Wow, you'd be surprised. Damn it! I just typed the freaking word. There we go, people. On the screen.
Oh dear.
Yeah. You can actually buy cheese that is actually named that. It's been on sale for a while, so maybe that's why it flew under the radar. Look, as for the comments here from CNN, I happen to agree with the Republican. At the end of the day, the LBGT community definitely seems to protect the people that have the right opinions and vilify people that have the wrong opinions. So
they do.
Yeah, I would say that it's...
for example, if you're part of the progressive stack with the wrong opinion, they literally will kick you out.
Yeah. Look at Milo.
The thing is, there's no path of redemption either.
No, look at Milo. Look at all the names that people have called Milo. whether you like him or not.
Yeah.
Right? He is a gay Jew who has a black boyfriend. And holy shit, the names they call that guy. Like I said, whether you like him or not. It's still just an example of the way they look at, how they go on about they go on about Kanye West. All the sort of names the media called Kanye West late last year. Because he put on the mega hat. I do notice that this Republican is also wearing a mega hat too. It could be a bit of trolling involved in this. But yeah, I would happen to say that he's right. That it is more of a social club than a rights movement because they only want people that agree with them and have the right opinion. Do you reckon this LGBT community would ever allow someone like Milo into their groups? No. He has the wrong opinions. But let's keep going. Ted Cruz wants El Chapo and drug lords to pay for the wall. So Senator Ted Cruz thinks convicted Mexican drug cartel Janero, whatever his name is, El Chapo Gunsman, should finance President Donald Trump's long-promised border wall. American justice system prevailed today in convicting German gunman Lorcara, aka El Chapo, on all 10 accounts. Cruz tweeted Tuesday shortly before the Sinaloa cartel boss was convicted on drug trafficking, weapons violations, money laundering, charges a federal courtroom in Brooklyn. U.S. prosecutors are seeking $14 billion in drug profits and other assessments from El Chapo, which should go towards funding our wall to secure the border. Oh boy, Ted Cruz is really knocking it out of the park. What are your thoughts on the $14 billion going towards the wall?
That's awesome.
It's a good idea.
But you know what? El Chapo, and don't worry, this is not a bad word or anything.
Yeah.
El Chapo is going to say, chupame un huevo. That's what he's going to say.
All right, what does that mean?
He's going to tell them to suck a nut.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, it depends on where his resources are located. If his assets are actually in Australia, in America, then he can't really. They can just take him.
Seizing his finances.
Yeah. Trump has said the construction of the wall would cost around $7.5 billion. That's actually a low number. That's only to do the most desperate parts of the wall. It actually, I've seen quotes go up to $25 billion. The Texas Republican urged his colleagues to pass the Ensuring Lawful Collection of Hidden Assets to Provide Order Act, or El Chapo Act, which would divert drug proceedings from the cartel bosses to fund border security. Cruz first introduced the bill in April 2017 and reintroduced it into January. The reintroduction puts pressure on lawmakers to put in place a border security spending bill. The bipartisan group of lawmakers on Monday tentatively agreed to provide $1.4 billion for border barriers, including 55 miles of new fencing along Rio Grande Valley in Texas. Drug proceedings could go a long way in securing the southern border, Cruz says. $14 billion would go a long way to secure our southern border and hinder the illegal flow of drugs, weapons, and individuals, Cruz said in his bill in January news release. By leveraging any criminal forfeiture assets of El Chapo and other murderous drug lords, we can offset the cost of securing our border and make meaningful progress towards delivering on the promise made to American people. Supporters of the wall agree it would deter criminals from entering the US illegally, while opponents say the wall would have minimal impact, blah, 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 blah. Talk to Israel, who built the wall and had their figures drop from thousands of people down to like 18. Ted Cruz revives El Chapo bill, which is basically what we just said. Second last story for the day, guys. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, Ted Cruz is awesome too. Just gonna say that.
Yeah, he's look, I didn't really like him much when he was running against Trump, but that was more because of the fact that he was running against Trump.
Yeah, he just wanted to be president.
Yeah, he seems to have come in line a little bit since then. I don't like some of necessarily all his comments. I don't think he's on the Trump train completely. I think he gets on and gets off where he might have...
Well, that's a good thing, and that means that he thinks for himself.
Exactly. So yeah, people going on about him being on the Trump train completely. No, I don't think that's true. I do think he gets on and off whenever he wants. But look, on this, I would actually support. I would say that whole $14 billion, put it towards the wall.
Yeah.
That could get a lot of that wall done. And that is a very good thing. I would fully support. And this would also be Mexico paying for the wall, technically.
Pretty much.
Americans wouldn't have to pay for it. The drug dealers would be.
Although, I've got to wonder how much of that money came from the CIA in the first place.
Oof. Getting a little spicy there, bro.
Yeah. Moving on?
Yeah, moving along. Last thing for the day. My KKK friends will burn your family. A Florida woman went on a racist rant against a black officer. Interesting. A woman was... Now, by the way, guys, this is BuzzFeed, so take it with a grain of salt. A woman who shouted telling the black deputy that the KKK would burn crosses in his yard and that N's shouldn't be ever allowed out of slavery. Whoa, rough. A Florida woman was recorded going on a racist and violent rant against a black officer after he arrested her for drink driving. So she was obviously drunk. Julie Edwards, 53, told Vicinity County Sheriff Office Department Brendan Knight that her KKK friends would burn his family and that something or other shouldn't have been let out of slavery, according to police reports provided to BuzzFeed. So, yeah, it's BuzzFeed. She is facing charges of making threats against law enforcement officers, resisting an officer without violence, driving under the influence, and prior refusal to submit to testing. Responded to the report of disturbance at a house in Delaware, Florida, King arrived to find Edwards trying to leave the property in her black Lexus, the report says. He immediately smelled alcohol on Edwards' breath and noticed that she was slurring when she was walking away from him unsteadily, the report says. Edwards' alleged refusal to take a breathalyzer test and perform a field sobriety exercises. She walked away from King after being handcuffed and resisted his attempts to get in the police cruiser. We have a video. I don't think I should play it.
Good choice.
Yeah. Okay. So, look, at the end of the day...
This is a non-story. This isn't news. This is just some dumb drunk woman just going on a tirade. Yeah. Yeah, great.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, look, she's drunk. Is she a racist? Probably.
Yeah. Probably.
Guess what? There are still racists in the world. Who cares? Like, yeah, I agree with you.
They exist.
Yeah. But look, at the end of the day, look, she's drunk. Shit.
Yeah. I don't remember BuzzFeed covering the BLM people running around going, "Oh look, he's white. Pull him out of the car, bash him up."
Exactly. Obviously, BuzzFeed has an agenda to push here. BuzzFeed's trying to push that everybody's a racist, everybody's a bigot, everybody's an alcoholic. Hashtag,
and we have to point them all out.
Yeah, and hashtag we need alcohol reform now, apparently. But look, yes, because it's not the first time they've brought that in the US. And that went down such great. But look, at the end of the day, I would say, look, yeah, the only reason I'm talking about it because it's trending, and I think we should talk about it. Obviously, we are nonpartisan, so we cover stories on both sides. Look, is she a bigot? Chances are, yeah. Is she a racist? Probably. Was she drunk? Obviously. But you know, yeah. I reckon if this was the other way around, if this was a white guy calling a black guy calling a white police officer a cracker or something like that, BuzzFeed would not be reporting on it. But that said,
I agree.
At the end of the day, yeah, she's a naughty girl. Don't get drunk, and don't go calling cops bad words because they'll arrest you. But yeah, I don't know, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on anything that we've talked about today? Feel free to hit us up. We'll have that discussion. I'll be up for the next couple of hours. So, obviously, yeah, we'll have a chat in the comment section. Apart from that, guys, obviously, if this video has been helpful, please smack that like button. Considering I only have 3 likes at the moment. What are the rest of yous doing? But yeah, no, obviously, guys, helping out, does obviously smacking that like button obviously does a great thing for us. Helps us go through and become more popular. Yeah, that's good, obviously, apparently. But yeah, apart from that, obviously, thank you for joining us once again. You have anything to add, anything to say?
No, but you know, if you disliked it, hit the dislike button, but leave a comment why you disliked it.
Don't encourage that.
But no, I'm just saying leave a comment telling us why, and you know, we can't fix it if we don't know what's wrong.
Well, apparently, according to one of our videos that we did yesterday over on the gaming channel, we're all uninformed idiots. And Satellite is a nasty boy because he didn't have sympathy for people that got fired. So, I might put a link to that video in the outro, so you can all go and laugh at us, not realise that Fallout 76 was made by Bethesda. We did correct ourselves, but come on, the game was that bad. Is anybody really surprised that we tried to put it out of our memories?
Yeah.
Like, that game was
And when all
terrible.
the game companies are being terrible in the same sort of way, it's kind of hard to distinguish them.
That too. They are all pretty shit at the moment, except for Star Citizen's doing a good job. I'm liking Cyberpunk.
And CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, Cyberpunk, yep. They're doing a really good job. It's funny. It's like all these indie developers are doing a good job.
Yeah.
Weird, that, isn't it? Anyway, moving along. Because, yeah, apart from that, obviously the video's been helpful. Please smack a like. If you're new, channel, welcome, and subscribe. If you dislike it, then I suppose hit the dislike button since someone else has already mentioned it. But yeah, guys, apart from that, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. We will be back again tomorrow. Well, I will be. Will you available?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, apart from that, guys, we'll see you in tomorrow's video. Have a great day and enjoy. Say bye.
Bye.
See you, everybody.